any one of these three riders could win, and the win could come quite plausibly from behind them as well, because they're going to be hunted down on this needle trek.
Yeah, yes, as you correctly pointed out, they have numbers here. Mats Pedersen himself is pushing out them. Let's not forget Bahrain. They have somebody at the same time.
Laporte is there as well.
So too is Romain Grégoire, but there's, like you noticed, Mats Pedersen was riding, Grégoire's riding, a lot of leaders on their own, or putting their nose in the wind and burning a few matches as well, that's definitely a grimace from Mathieu van der Poel.
Yeah, not something like you usually see it. So far, if you just read the faces and the reaction of the riders, you will argue that Tom Pidcock is the rider who is feeling the best at the moment, because Mathieu was with an uncommon grimace on his face, not something like you often see. And but we know he can, in Italian, we say like he can throw his heart over the fence, like he can do more than his body will suggest you.
Great expression.
Yeah, that's Italian. Gettare il cuore oltre l'ostacolo.
Every day I learn.
Even if you're not able to drop him, force him to chase you down once you're at the bottom of the descent. He can burn a little bit of matches for today. He can also help out Tom Pidcock in the final sprint.
And if you're Tadej Pogacar, well, has he already resigned himself that this all-come-pool has been caught? Needle Trek still with numbers, 19 seconds, 1.7k to go. Pogacar looks around and checks. Pidcock will have to come through again and do another turn on the front, I would imagine. And he will do, because it's far too far out to risk anything yet, and they still need to keep the pace high.
Yes, going down a little bit, 18 seconds at the moment. As
Van Aert launches off the front in pursuit of the front of the race. He's gone clear, he's got a gap, and Van Aert, not quite the rider that he was a few years ago, but a former winner of this race, Milan-San Remo, knows how to do a short, hard effort like that. So he's off in pursuit of these three, and if he gets across, that is a real problem for Pidcock and Pogacar.
Yeah, it's 40 seconds now, it's going down 30 seconds, so they're getting closer, as these duo they're not allowed to look at each other getting too much tactical.
They can't afford to do this at all. They need to continue here, because this is getting quite desperate. All it takes is for them to look at each other and the gap comes down to single figures.
Well, Van Aert is visible now behind them, maybe 100 metres or so behind them, but they're well into the final kilometre, the series of turns that lead to the Via Roma, as Tom Pidcock finds himself in the perfect position now on the wheel of Tadej Pogacar. Has he got the kick to deliver the victory? Tadej Pogacar swings across, looks for that moment where he can unleash his sprint. He knows that Van Aert is coming, but surely they've got enough roads to play with here to make this a battle of the ages between the two of them. We're going to have a new winner of Milan-San Remo unless Van Aert can get across, but we're inside the last half kilometre. They slow right up. Tadej Pogacar aware of Tom Pidcock. Pidcock impassive, waiting to unleash his sprint, still too far out. Patience now for Pidcock. Pogacar, well, what a story he's written. Can he round it off? Can the world champion deliver the performance that gets him this yearned-for victory? Pogacar opens up his sprint. Pidcock still in the shadow of Pogacar. Pogacar trying to win the impossible race, but Pidcock is coming up alongside him. The arms go in the air, and it's very, very close, but Pogacar celebrates. The impossible race has been won by the impossible rider. Tadej Pogacar has done it, and he's done it in the most extraordinary fashion. The script that no one could have imagined. Down, out, bruised, battered, and somehow back, out sprinting Tom Pidcock. The impossible moment has arrived. Pogacar writes stories that no one thought could be written, and none have been more compelling than that one.
What a ride by him, and this make a statue for Brandon McNulty, what he did in the bottom of the Cipressa. Everything turns out as today wanted to be, was not for Tom Pidcock, but enough for Tadej Pogacar to celebrate in this victory. The agonized victory, the destiny young kid, Annette is joking.
You can see this was the point where Tom Pidcock, he got himself stuck on the right-hand side of the wheel here, and so he had to almost ease off a little bit to get round on the left-hand side of Pogacar. Meanwhile, Pogacar's already up to speed. Pidcock having to come round on the left-hand side. He was coming with speed, though.
Yeah, he was not well played by Tom. He could have done a better sprint. I think he just made that decision to go on the right, and that was a close call. And I think at the back, I might be wrong, but I think Mats Pedersen overtook Wout van Aert right at the finish line, if I'm not mistaken.
That he wanted to win so he could relax and stop thinking.
There's just a momentary hesitation there from Pogacar before he unleashed that celebration. I think we were all wondering.
Wout van Aert managed to keep the podium. It was very good to see him. Like, it was a brave move. He was involved in the crash of Pogacar as well. It was how much? 5 kilometers from the bottom of Cipressa. And again, I want to point out how strong and reliable and fundamental was Brendan McNulty to bring him back with the whole team, and then basically from the bottom of the Cipressa. I think if you take the time of Pogacar, probably is from the bottom till the top, that was below 9 minutes, because he was in 8th position, something like this. Was super far back, and Brendan McNulty with the monster pull he managed to bring him back to the front and having him at that position, and he's still in the peloton behind Brendan McNulty. Unbelievable. What a ride by him. He worked